Final update. My wife gave our son a different name on the birth certificate, her ex's. When I confronted her, she laughed. Yeah, he's not even yours. What are you going to do? Divorce me? This is a no-fault state. I'm taking half, loser. I didn't say a word. I just got a DNA test, hired a lawyer, and started packing. 3 months later, she was outside my building sobbing, homeless, and begging me to. She also emptied our joint checking account, $3,800, which Jessica immediately reported to the court as a violation of the asset freeze. The judge ordered her to repay it or face contempt charges. Then last week, she somehow got my new address, likely through a mutual friend who thought they were helping, and showed up pounding on the door, baby crying in her arms. Open the door, Mark. You can't hide from your responsibilities. We need to talk. I didn't open the door, just called building security while recording her through the peephole. Jessica filed for a protective order based on harassment, with a recording, police report from the security team, and documented pattern of escalating behavior. The judge granted a temporary order pending a full hearing. Meanwhile, I've been rebuilding, reconnected with friends Vanessa had subtly pushed away, sleeping better than I have in months. There's a strange liberation in seeing someone's true nature so clearly. Update 3, 4 months later. The legal process dragged on longer than I'd hoped, but we finally had our day in court. The judge, clearly irritated by Vanessa's continued games, missed financial disclosure deadlines, lost documents, another attempt to contact me despite the protective order, was thorough in his review. It was over in less than 3 hours. The outcome? House to be sold, with 80% of proceeds to me, reflecting my larger initial contribution and documentation of premarital funds. My retirement accounts remain solely mine. All property purchased before marriage returned to original owner. Vanessa ordered to pay $8,000 of my legal fees due to her pattern of bad faith actions, about half of my total costs. I was legally established as not being the father, with no support obligations. The court ordered the birth certificate to be amended. Vanessa broke down when the judge ruled on the paternity matter. But Your Honor, he's the only father this child has. Alexander won't. The judge also recommended Vanessa pursue a paternity action against Alexander through the family court, noting that the child had a right to support from his biological father, regardless of Alexander's marital situation. Your personal arrangement with Mr. Reynolds is not the court's concern, the judge told her. The child has rights independent of your relationship status. The house sold within 3 weeks in a hot market. I kept my job, my savings, and most of my sanity. Through mutual friends, I heard Vanessa had to move in with her parents in a small town 50 miles away, making her sales territory impossible to cover. She eventually took a much lower paying retail job closer to them. The entitlement is still there, though. Last week, she emailed Jessica. Mark got everything he wanted. The least he could do is help me with a down payment on a condo after 4 years of marriage. I deserve something. Jessica's response: the court has made its determination. Please refer to the restraining order conditions before attempting further contact. Final update, 6 months later. Life has a strange way of coming full circle. Yesterday, I was walking out of my building to meet a friend for dinner when I saw her, Vanessa, sitting on a bench across the street, the baby in a stroller beside her. When she saw me, she stood up, hesitating before crossing over. She looked different, thinner, hair pulled back simply, wearing jeans and a plain sweater instead of her usual designer clothes. Please, she said as I stopped. Just 5 minutes? Against my better judgment, I nodded. I lost my job last month, she said without preamble. My parents are selling their house, moving to Florida. I can't. I don't have anywhere to go. I said nothing, just waited. Alex still won't acknowledge the baby, won't even take a DNA test. Says his wife would leave him. Her voice cracked. I've applied for emergency housing, but there's a waiting list. I'm sleeping in my car some nights. What do you want from me, Vanessa? Her eyes filled with tears. Help. Alone. Maybe you know someone who needs an assistant or has a room to rent. I'm not asking to come back. I know that's impossible, but... Alexander stirred in the stroller, and she automatically rocked it, soothing him. There was a time when this would have torn me apart, but I felt surprisingly calm, almost detached. Vanessa, you entitled piece of shit, I said as I walked away. The revenge wasn't in the legal victory or keeping my assets. The real revenge was in this moment, being able to stand before the woman who had tried to destroy me, who had laughed at the idea of me fighting back, and feel nothing but calm detachment. She had expected me to be a doormat, to either accept her betrayal or pay for her new life. Instead, I had quietly, methodically dismantled her plans and rebuilt my life on my terms. I had proven her wrong in the most fundamental way. I wasn't a loser. I was a man who knew his worth and refused to be manipulated. That night, I slept better than I had in years. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't some elaborate scheme. It's simply refusing to be a victim and letting the natural consequences play out. The life she tried to steal from me is gone. The life I've built in its place is all mine.